Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Uh, Today we're going to not lie to you. We're not lying to you anymore. We will lie to you next week, but just not this week.
Okay.
Well, I haven't claimed that it is a quick craft in a long time, but he does every time. So technically, we're still lying to you, but today we're not.
That's right, folks. Tonight we're returning to an old, sort of a different take on an old craft. It is going to be a Martian incubator for the Tharks. It's really simple. Start with a nice round. You could use a different shape, but we're going with round. Piece of XPS foam. Cut a circle out of the middle. We're going to be using these orange juice lids from, I forget what company, but they make, these lids have a lot of great texture on the sides, and they're at a nice angle the whole bit. And we've got a ton of these, so we're finally going to use some tonight. Then, as we showed you before, these bubble domes from your favorite frozen
What about the forks
drink,
and the drinks? And
whether
the
from
triangles.
Starbucks or Del Taco, wherever you go to get an
Well, what are you
icy.
going to do about the fork and the cup and the peat?
The little symbols on the side. We're going to find some gribblies and hide that. You're right. I totally forgot about pulling some gribblies. And also, just for, the hell of it, I made a little stone marker so that the Tharks can see their egg chambers, their incubators from a distance. It's just another piece of XPS foam that I did up with a certain specific sort of paint job that I always use for my Mars terrain, and just threw some goofy little runes on it. And so he's going to start by painting the base white. So grab your white, grab your palette, and I also made up a big batch of. I wanted to find some Easter product for the eggs, but I just couldn't find any just yet. So I just made up a whole bunch of basically just clay egg shapes, and then I painted them up with what is this? Beltian green from Games Workshop, and then when that dried, I hit them up with a green wash from Army Painter, just to give them sort of a goopy looking, sort of nasty look down at the bottom.
They definitely are going to need 2 coats
Of
white.
No, because you just want to just cover up the paint, because then you're going to hit it with red.
Oh, okay. So
And then after red,
perfectly.
yeah. Just make sure you get in, a good even coat. And after it dries, which hopefully it'll dry during the episode, then you're going to hit it with red, which would be Army Painter's just pure red. Followed up with a dry brush of dry rust, and it gives it a nice sort of comical Mars look to it. I use this color scheme for a lot of my sci-fi miniatures when I do their bases, and I throw some sand on it. I'm also going to put sand around here later, but I didn't want to make a mess up here in the studio. I'll just do that downstairs. You guys know how to glue sand to styrofoam. I'm pretty sure it's something you're all familiar with. And don't worry about the edges yet, because you're going to have to hit that with the wire cutter, and that will just... Do you want a bigger brush to make that faster?
Sure. It's in the water?
Yeah. But yeah, you'll just glue some sand around here, make sure it doesn't get in there.
I'm not the smartest. There we go.
And afterwards, we'll just glue it all together.
The white is coming out much better as well.
Yeah, it's a better brush. It's a straight edge.
And it's especially better for something like this.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't give that to you. But also, for the top, I've got a sort of a clear plastic that I'm having trouble finding. It's just a clear plastic sheet that's got this really nice grid pattern on it. You could use granny grading or something like that, but I don't want it to be completely covered, because I'm assuming that the sun from the sunlight on Mars heats up the egg chamber to help the little green guys pop out of their eggs. And like the little guy was talking about earlier, I didn't get inspired for this project necessarily from the movie, because like we were saying, we think the ones in the movie, we think they're like rectangular buildings, and I wanted to do
and
something.
Also, they don't really have domes on them. They're just boxes
with like a window.
Yeah, boxes in the ground with a window. I don't remember exactly how they're what.
I wanted you to do the other side because it's got this cut in it. But we can hide that with sand. Don't worry about it.
That's what I thought we were gonna do.
Okay. But yeah, the original John Carter Mars.
It's smoother without that.
Okay. Yeah.
And I thought that because.
Yeah, you want that line to stay there so you know where to glue it.
Yeah.
The original John Carter books were, like I said, was it yesterday? Written in 1912, and it still had that sort of really really retro sci-fi look to everything, and feel. So I really wanted to make these kind of, not necessarily comical or hokey, but a little bit of that, mixed in with the available materials to get it to, look, different than your average actual Earth-like incubator that would probably be a rectangular building with things like that. And do I have a Thark already put together? No, I don't. I was working on the miniatures we got from Bronze Age Miniatures, and I wanted to have one of the Tharks glued together and stuff, but I got carried away with this gigantic lizard guy here. And this is just a fantastic piece, and I'm really glad we got two of them. Little guy and I are going to have a lot of fun painting these up. And if you've never heard of Bronze Age Miniatures, go check them out because they have a lot of great stuff. Not just the best John Carter miniatures out there, but they've got a lot of great fantasy and historical miniatures out there. And Dave is a wonderful guy, and really got these out to us really quick. And it was really nice talking to him on the phone. So go check out Bronze Age Miniatures if you get a chance. We're gonna actually have a really nice end of the month when we do our show off show. We'll be able to yeah, that's fine. Now let's move on to the next thing. I'll get that water. Oh, there goes our table. Okay, dry brushing that with just bronze. Let's use your palette for that. And I don't know if you can see this, but I just gave it a really...
brush for dry brushing?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I
just want to do a really, really quick dry brush. Nothing too fancy, because I want... If you can see, the lines here really absorb the shadows and, give it that shape. It's actually a little off, but that's why I picked these pieces, because they just really look industrial and... just solid metal once they're dry brushed. Yeah, you don't even worry about the bottom part. I made the mistake of trying to paint this edge here, but don't waste your time there. No one's going to see it.
Okay, well, I'll still do it, but...
No, that looks perfect. You're doing a perfect job on the dry brush. Nothing,
I'm going to specifically avoid it, but I'm not going to specifically go
But you see how easy it is to dry brush that, and those shadowy lines just still show up. I think you need a little bit more paint on that brush. I think you've got it all.
Yeah.
You just want it to look like a big old, beat up, metal cylinder made by, the Tharks. And then you'll want to, when you paint the inside, you're going to get paint on your hands. Don't worry about that. But just don't worry about going too deep. Just get that edge right here.
Yeah.
And a little bit over here, because when people look straight down, all they're going to see is shadows anyways.
So, for example...
That's why I said don't paint the bottom edge, because that also gives you something to hold on to without getting too much paint on your hands.
It's not the biggest deal.
Yeah, you can wash your hands. Or...
This one is less smooth on the inside.
Yeah. But these are really fun pieces. I've got some great ideas to use these lids later on in the year.
Do you think that's enough?
This edge here, and try to...
Okay.
I'll show you.
Oh, you just... Hey!
Yeah.
And bad.
Just do this.
Okay.
And you're good to go. Then we'll throw some glue in there, and toss in the eggs, and then we can go on to the fun part, which is cutting with the hot wire cutter. I actually had a lot of fun doing the edge here with the hot wire cutter. Just make it look rough and rocky and, you know, exaggerated. Same with this piece here. You know, it was just a chunk of XPS foam and just, you know, experimenting with it. And, yeah, let it, put it off to the side to dry. And now...
It's almost dry.
Dry enough to handle, you think?
Not to put paint over it.
What?
Not to put paint over it.
No, to cut it.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, let me give you a little...
What was the thing that was on me last time?
It was just a metal, straight metal bar. What? Hey, what are you doing? Crazy kid.
Okay, let me just test it.
Yeah,
It works.
Yeah, it takes like a second to heat up. It's, you know...
If you touch it, is it... You don't cut your arm off.
Yeah, I seriously doubt you would cut my entire arm. Now, hold on, let me... Okay, watch. Just make light, angled little pulls. And as deep or as jagged as you want, but go at that angle.
Like this?
Yeah, watch out for this because we're going to want to do something with that in just a second. And you know what? I'm going to start gluing in the eggs for you.
Okay. Like this?
Yeah, it can't look wrong. I mean, unless you cut it in half or something.
Well, what if I do?
Uh,
I don't think I will.
Don't think I won't, Dad. I'll do it. I'll do it.
I think I'd be having to actively try to do that in order to do that.
Yeah.
And
And don't worry if it gets stuck on the wire. We'll when you're done, we'll just pull it all off the wire when it's cool, so we don't burn off our fingerprints.
Like you haven't done that already?
Yeah, well, that was for a specific reason. We won't talk about that.
I don't think you did.
No, of course not. That would be absolutely crazy. We're not doing a reenactment of the movie Seven. You've never seen that movie. What are you laughing at?
I've heard of it.
It's a gruesome movie. It's not for kids.
Yeah. You want to talk?
Looks like I might have a few extra eggs here. Cool.
That's cool. Oh, not bad. Just
you can also go back over it after you're done with the whole circle. Just make sure you keep that angle so it looks kind of like a hill going up.
Yeah.
Are you trying to play a song on that thing?
I'm not trying to play a song on that thing. What?
He's trying to play a song.
I'm not trying to play a song. I'm actively trying to avoid that.
Okay. And if the stuff is sticking to the wire like it was, you can like move the wire down so that you can actually see what you're doing.
That's good.
I would make a little bit deeper and slower cuts because if you break that wire, it's gonna end the video.
It's correct.
Okay, now let me take this. Just hold on to the cutter. Let's pull these off and get a good look at what you've done. What have you done? Okay. I would go back.
Over it?
Yeah, just because I wanted you to try to get all the way down.
Oh, well, at the beginning you didn't, so.
Yeah, but you can just make bigger cuts every couple
It was
of...
hotter. And cut more.
Well, it really doesn't change, but make sure you keep that angle.
No, we should just cut better.
Yeah. It's a fun tool, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, angle.
I just stuck my hand to the napkin. Okay. And I'm going to try and put a little bit of paint on these eggs so that I can get in with the army painter real quick. I know the glue is still wet, but because it's a contrast paint, I can just put a drop on the top and it'll flow down. I almost wanted to paint these like a a khaki color, but I'm like, you know what? They're green. Martians are green.
Well, just because a creature is a certain color doesn't mean its eggs will be.
Yeah,
a
I
certain
knew you
color
would say
as well.
that. Always raining on my parade.
Well, it's a fact of biology.
I know.
Not every creature that lays an egg will have the egg be the exact same color of said creature. I mean, you think chickens? Yes, chickens are sometimes white, but they're also sometimes not white. And yes, their eggs are sometimes not white, but what?
I didn't say anything. I'm just
Oh,
listening
well,
to you
it sounded like you
rant.
were.
You reminded me of someone I was listening to earlier.
I wonder who that could be. Even though I actually.
Kai.
Yes.
If you guys don't know who that is, go check him out. I'll try and leave a spelling of his channel because I don't know how to do links. I'm old.
I think I do, but I'm
But
not
he was
sure.
on Table Breakers tonight. We had a wonderful discussion. It's a great show. Tonight it was about first level, the good and the bad and the ugly, I guess, of, brand new games. Just a spot.
Oh.
Nice and goopy, nice and gross. Look at that. Yum, right?
I don't think that's the purpose of this.
No.
I think it's quite the opposite, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't realize.
All right, you're making a heck of a mess there. I'm proud of
Yes,
you. Okay, let's take this and give it a good look. See, okay. For expedience sake, we're just going to do the. Let me do that while you work on the next thing, with the wire cutter. Because I can paint a lot faster.
Yes, you can.
So. Put the gun down now.
The gun down. I had a feeling you'd say that.
Give me this. Now just put that over here.
This?
Whichever one you want to make. You want to make one just like this, or you want to work on the one that I started. Just have fun making a. It's basically just a marker. What are you doing? You just killed it.
I did not just kill it. Okay, I probably just killed it.
Oh yeah. I thought you were gonna go for height. That's why I gave you that piece.
Oh.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just you got two that are that shape. Just rock them up.
Oh, this.
You can use that one, but there's one trick with these. Here, let me show you. If you want to use this one, here, give me.
I was. Oh.
In order to get a nice, solid, straight cut, so that it'll stand.
Yes.
There you go. Now, just cut
I'm
off.
still gonna be working on this one.
Well, okay.
Well, I wanted to make another one later.
Okay, well, it's
We
later.
both. That is correct. It is later. Just not as later as I meant.
Be careful you don't, burn yourself.
Almost just did.
I'm going to do the palette. That's interesting. Chewy.
I don't think I'm doing anything productive. Or maybe I am.
Well, it's practice. But
Well, I'm not doing anything productive at the moment. I mean, now I am, but not when I said that. Second?
yeah, I like that other side better.
The other side?
No, the second side. The first side looks a little weird.
This side?
No.
This side? That's the one I was showing you.
No, the back.
Oh, this?
That, yeah, I don't like that.
Well, no, I wasn't showing you that.
Okay, just make it look like a more or less a pile of rocks or a big rock that the Tharks just decided to put their little mark on it, so that if somebody else came across it, they would maybe leave it alone. But I kind of doubt it, because I think the Martians actually raided each other's egg chambers from time to time because of the way they raise their Martian young. They don't really have moms and dads. They just, well, they do kind of have moms and dads, but you don't know if that was really your kid or not. You just, here's a baby, raise it, make it fight good.
There you go.
And yeah, we are going to watch that movie again, probably, maybe this weekend. I know a lot of you John Carter purists out there hate the movie, but I'm always going to have a soft spot for that movie, just because I'm not going to say it's the only movie out there, because I know there were other movies and other maybe movie serials back in the day, back in the 40s. Yeah, we're not going to actually paint that one today because it's just going to take too much time, but definitely going to have to get a heat gun so we can dry things faster instead of using a hairdryer. But we just like the movie. I know it's not as accurate as people would like it, and Disney went out of their way to
sabotage it.
Yeah, we all know it's true, and it's a shame because it really
It doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, if they thought about it, they could have made a ton of money on it. I know at the time they were really pushing Marvel, and they had other issues, maybe copyright, limited time to work on it and things like that, before their permissions ended or what have you. But,
well, it's not like they have trouble messing with copyright in the past and in the future.
But they really could have put the full studio behind it, and had action figures and toys and merchandise and T-shirts and all that good stuff, and they could have turned it into a TV show and a cartoon and
that wasn't
everything.
really a thing back then.
Anything you could possibly do with an IP, they could have done, and they chose to go the exact opposite route.
Okay.
But
And this looks...
yeah, I like it. But you're gonna put the words here?
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. It looks rocky, and it'll look pretty interesting. Not bad for his first time. I knew you weren't expecting that. XPS foam is so much fun to work with. It's one of the greatest materials.
That nice?
Yeah, that works, I guess. Just hit all the sides.
They're too uniform.
It looks weird, but it could also be from, what do you call it, from back when Mars had water, and it could be, tidal damage or something like that. But don't cut away too much or it'll fall over.
You're right.
But, he's doesn't have a lot of experience using this tool like I do. Yeah. And, you can't help but
My experience is very limited.
You can't help but just, go nuts with it. It's just...
Yeah.
It's just... It's hard to describe. Start at the top. And go at an angle.
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Doing it then.
Because otherwise you're going to take big chunks out of it and weaken it structurally. Yeah, that looks cool. But, if you don't have one of these tools, I definitely recommend getting one, especially if you're going to be, working on with any kind of foam, whether it's the awful white stuff or XPS, for those of you lucky enough.
We use the white stuff quite often.
Yeah, we do. Just because, growing up, we didn't have XPS foam, and so I used the white stuff for everything.
Didn't you make a dragon out of no, it was out of paper clay.
Yeah.
Was it any good?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, I've learned a lot since then, but...
Could you do it again?
Oh, yeah.
Would you do it again?
I would love to make one out of XPS foam, just to see if I could do it.
What's that?
That was me.
No.
I was tapping.
Never mind.
Don't worry, folks. I'll clean up the mess. I always do.
He doesn't. Yes, he does.
Okay. Now we're going to hit it up with the red palette. And as soon as you're done, if you want to take this white paint and start painting up those... I just want to hurry up and get this one done. He can...
Yeah.
You take that. And I'll get you that brush again. Because I want to teach him to do the Mars color scheme that I always use. Oh, you know what? Use the rock first.
Oh yes, the rock. The entire thing?
No, you don't need to do it on the sides because it's not going to show. Just on the flat spots.
Don't you usually use your ball? The aluminum foil ball thing that you make?
Aluminum foil? No,
Yeah.
no. I hate aluminum foil balls. A lot of people say use aluminum foil ball to texture your styrofoam, but eventually that...
Oh no, I'm thinking of the roller.
Oh, you know what? I have it right...
Because I knew you made something, and I knew you did.
He's right. Use this to be faster. The aluminum foil ball will really quickly become smooth, or so smooth that it leaves almost no texture. And as you can see, he's done. The texture is done.
Still need to, because the rocks are a bit pointy.
Yeah,
And
and you're never gonna wear down the rock. It's always gonna, you know.
I suppose you could wear down the rock.
You would have to be making terrain every day for a decade.
What if you do?
Then you are a very, very lucky individual who's got more time than I can possibly imagine to make terrain. Maybe Terrain Tutor, I could see him actually wearing it down. If he started like 5 years ago, if you guys don't know who he is, he's one of the best terrain guys out there. He's like the godfather of terrain as far as I'm concerned. I know a lot of people like other YouTubers, but he's the best, you know, when it comes to having been doing it for the longest amount of time and the most practical experience. I haven't watched him in a while because his shows are usually... That's going to happen. His shows are usually like 2 hours long, and I don't have that kind of time to sit and watch one video. You know, I've got, you know, news to keep on top of and other YouTubers that I like to watch, and you know, every once in a while I'll go and check out one of his videos, but it's been a while, but he's just phenomenal. And he's the only guy I could see who would actually wear that rock down. You like using the little rock better? More control?
It's not that, it's just that this just adds, if I use it here. I suppose it just, I was using a side of a different side.
I just made this, you know, let me show them when you're done.
What's that?
Which one? I don't hear anything. And now I'm just going to push this down straight in here. I won't even need glue because I cut it just with enough room to play around. And then this would go right on like that. Pretty simple, you know, just quick piece of, you know, goofy terrain. Let me show them this real quick. I just took a really sturdy cardboard tube. I think it's from aluminum foil. I think those tubes are stronger and sturdier than the ones.
So you did use aluminum foil?
No, the tube. That's where the tube came from.
No.
And then I just hot glued a ton of gravel to it, and then spray painted it white rather liberally so that it would give an extra layer of you know, protection to keep the rocks on. But as you can see, there's some gaps where rocks have fallen off, and it's going to happen. You know, but I'd rather remake one of these than keep wasting aluminum foil after aluminum foil. It's just... The first time I used an aluminum foil ball, I knew that it was not the way to go. It was just, you know, the pressure you put on it is just going to keep, you know, smoothing it out, and then you're stuck with a wasted piece of aluminum foil, and, you know, it's just wasteful. Okay, you want to start painting that white while I...
You get the windows out?
Yeah. I don't think this is going to dry fully to be able to dry brush it during the video, but you can just get that white paint, just so we don't waste that white paint in the palette.
That's fine.
Let me dry it off, because otherwise you're going to have pink.
No, I was going to...
I want to make sure there's no... See, there's still red paint coming off. And if you do that, you can get pink.
Yes, I know. But technically speaking, that isn't... the worst possible thing, because you're going to go right over it anyways.
Yeah, I know, but
However, I do see your point.
because I want to make, because it's pink underneath, and I want to be able to see, if it's going to be pink.
So this, right?
Man, we're making a huge mess. Yeah, yeah.
Yes?
Did you leave room for your lettering?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Very specifically to do that.
We definitely got to get a heat gun. Although, I have to wonder if a heat gun would melt this stuff if we're not really careful. Maybe just get an extra hair dryer. One of the tools you definitely need crafting is either or. Sometimes you just can't wait for things to dry, and that can. If like me, you've got the time where you can put something down and then go back and, do something. But if you're in a hurry, heat gun or hair dryer, definitely. We should look for one at the next time we go to the swap meet, or maybe we go to Harbor Freight this weekend and pick up a heat gun. They have them for like $20, and they're definitely something. Although, in about a week here where we live up in the high desert, it's going to be so hot that.
It's not really necessary.
Yeah, but during the wintertime,
Yes.
definitely be something we'll want to use. Where are you going to put the lettering? On that side?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what you're going to write?
I have a feeling I know what I'm going to write.
Okay. Yeah, you just...
The problem is, I don't know. I was going to make my own language. I think I talked about this before.
Right.
And I didn't necessarily give up. I just gave up. Well, no, I didn't give up because I didn't really start.
Gotcha.
I made letters and stuff, and that was all I did. Because I wanted to, I realized, I was going to write it all down in a physical book, but then I realized that that's kind of inefficient.
Because?
Just because it's probably easier if I do it on a computer. Just because I can save it better, I can...
And you don't lose the book.
Yeah, I don't need to constantly be looking for the book, I just need to turn on the computer.
Yeah, he's got a huge collection of notebooks all over the house.
Yeah, I lost one a while ago that had a bunch of important information on it. It's not necessarily I lost it. Well, I did lose it, but somebody who is not in this room right now for reasons that I actually don't know, wanted to reorganize the room and just put it somewhere and I can't find it. And it had a lot of important information on it relating to, like, time systems and such.
You'll find it.
I will find it, but...
It'll just be in some weird place.
And I'll only find it once I give up and just decide to remake the time system.
That's the way it is with losing stuff. You never find it till you don't care. Or it's the last place you look because you've looked everywhere and you didn't give up, like me.
Well, it's not that you don't give up. Well, yes, it is you don't give up. It's just you have the inability to give up.
Yeah, I very OCD.
You will go outside to... That's not the definition of OCD.
Yeah.
You will go outside to find it.
Yeah, I hate losing stuff.
He looks in the fridge.
Yeah.
Which isn't actually that ridiculous considering how many times we've left things in the fridge.
That's true. Or on top of the fridge. That's another one. It's in your hand. You put it there because you're opening up the freezer or something. And
yeah.
Yeah, it's still a little tacky. I don't want to risk dry brushing it just yet. You almost ready to call it?
Almost.
You almost used up all that paint. Yeah, sorry to keep you guys hanging out, but you get the idea, folks.
Yeah, it turns out we did lie to you.
No.
Well, it's because these are supposed to be able to be finished in one video, but the problem is they can't be because most of them are incredibly difficult, or not necessarily difficult. Most of them are very easy, but the problem is that most of them are, if not tedious, they are just complicated. There are multiple steps that we can't.
The Sphinx. There's no way we could have finished that in one video. You'd be there for 8 hours.
It would be. It probably. It most definitely.
We should put a disclaimer that the drying time is not included in the quick.
Well, yeah, drying time it would definitely not be included, even though it is technically included. However, I do say that they are technically cool crafts. Some of them are because they can be finished in one video. If they can be finished in less than an hour, I would say that does count, including drying time. Then yes, that does count. More like 30 minutes without drying time, maybe 40 minutes. That's not necessarily quick. That's just a regular time. But most of the stuff we do is incredibly complicated. I almost said difficult. It's not difficult. Most of the time it's not difficult, but most of the time it is incredibly complicated. There are an incredible amount of steps. I'm going on too much, aren't I?
I don't know how much caffeine he had tonight, and I don't know how we're going to get him to bed tonight and ready for school in the morning.
I did not have any caffeine.
Yeah, we don't drink a lot of caffeine.
Well, technically, maybe I like 2
Did
chocolate bars.
Oh, yeah, okay, there you go. It's not caffeine, it's sugar tonight, folks. So
I rarely have. Oh wait, no, it's something related to school.
Is it giving you espresso at school and it doesn't kick in for 6 hours?
No, that's not the case. It is simply that we're about to do. It is simply that we're about to do tests, and the teacher had an idea to do some sort of thing with candy to get some of the students motivated.
So they give you crack instead?
You know.
No.
I don't think so.
So let's call it and let everybody get on to the rest of their evenings or to bed, because I'm sure it's like midnight somewhere.
It is midnight somewhere.
But there you have it, folks. Martian Incubator and some more Martian scatter terrain for your John Carter of Mars games, and I will be reviewing the very first John Carter game, as far as I know, ever created tomorrow. For those of you who don't have the ability to get it, I'm going to give you all the reasons why you might or might not want to get it, because it is a
full game.
Well, it's a very important piece of gaming history. So, from all of us here at the Shadow and Sun Show, thanks for putting up with our shenanigans. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and if not, have a great weekend. We love you guys, and
good night.
Bye, everybody.